Morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening to this or seeing my face. Welcome to day 196 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Today we are talking about one of my favorite tools, one of my favorite exercises. I share just about every month that I learned it from Dean Graziosi, who learned it from a mastermind group that I can't remember which one it was, but it is an extension of the 5 Whys exercise. Most people have heard, not most people, anybody who works in personal development or learns to be personally developed has probably heard of at least once the 5 Why exercise. It's when you ask yourself a series of why, the why question about the previous answer, to go deeper and deeper and find out what is your root cause, what is the root challenge, root problem, the root thing that you want to address or that is impacting you on a subconscious level that you're not even aware of. I use it a lot for uncovering beliefs that are holding us back or conflicting. A lot of times our beliefs aren't created in a scientific on purpose way. They just happen through our life experiences. When we think a thought a lot or when we have an experience that's extremely emotional, it becomes a belief in us. And a lot of those just run in our subconscious without us even ever being aware of it. And so this is one of those exercises that I like to use to try to find out, well, where the heck did that come from? Who does that even belong to? Is that even my belief? Or is that just one that I adopted from my mom or my grandma or my great grandma or my great grandma 5 times removed? We don't know, right? And sometimes it's just when we do this exercise or another exercise like journaling or the meditation or visualization and things like that, we can become more self-aware and say, okay, I see that that's acting in my life. That's not even my belief. I heard it on the news when I was 10 years old, or I picked it up at school when I was 12. It could be any kind of a crazy thing like that. And we don't even realize that they're impacting us, but they're stopping us from getting what we want and creating the life we want. So one of my favorite tools to deal with that and any other challenge or thing that I have going on in my life or any other desire I want in my life, specifically this month with respect to mental health and well-being, is the 7 Whys exercise. And this is how I set mine up. And of course, I did my first 7 when I first started using and sharing this tool in 20, maybe before 2020, but I made these lovely visual aids in 2020 during the Get Up and Go challenge. I did a 30-day challenge every other month to keep myself moving forward and other people moving forward as well. Because it was probably the most chaotic, weird time in most of the population's life simultaneously. I don't think there's ever been an event that impacted as many people at the same time as the global pandemic did. And I use that in quotes because I think it was a plandemic, not a pandemic. Just my opinion. Okay, so 7 Why. How do we do it? We ask ourselves a question and then, well, why? Why is that? So for example, I did this morning and it got deep really fast because I've done this so many times. Mental health and well-being. Why is it important, necessary, or essential for me to have excellent or positive or stellar, whatever adjectives you like, well-being and mental well-being and mental health? Why is that important for me? Well, so I can live a happy, healthy, productive, positive life. That was my first one. And then I asked, why do I want to live a happy, healthy, productive, positive life? Well, so I can create the life that I love and the life that I want. Well, why do I want to create the life that I want and the life that I want? Third why, so I can help those I love and care about, like my kids and my granddaughters and people that are friends and acquaintances or people that I work with, because I want to help them create the life that they want, and so on and so forth, 7 times deep, till we get all the way down to usually the root or the core cause or thing that we need to address. And sometimes it's, boy, I had this experience, and this has happened to me. I had this experience in kindergarten that I didn't even remember about. And that's part of why I don't ever want to feel like that again, or I don't want anyone else to ever feel like that again. So what are we doing today for our action item? We are asking ourselves, why do I want mental health and well-being? Why is it important to me? Why is it necessary? Why is it desirable for me? Why do I even care about it, right? And I care about it really because it is the core and the foundation of everything. Remember, our thoughts create everything else in our life. Our ideas, our thoughts, our questions, the curiosity, the things we're even willing to see with our senses are impacted by every thought that we think in our head. So we want to make sure we're controlling those thoughts, not that someone else's. Because a lot of times there are other things and other entities controlling our thinking and our thoughts and our beliefs. If we watch the news every single day, who is actually controlling our thoughts, our beliefs, and our opinions? If we hang out with a certain group of people that we have some values in common with, but some core values not in common with, who do we think is influencing, and how do we think we're influencing or being influenced by that group of people when it comes to our beliefs, our actions, our thoughts, and our behaviors? We are, and I don't like this expression, but I don't know what personal development guru came up with this. We are the 5 people, or the average of the 5 people we hang around with most. And maybe it's not 5 people, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 6, maybe it's 20. It's different for each of us, but somebody made up 5 because there's 5 fingers on our hand, and everybody now says and shares that. And I push against it just because everybody says it and shares it. And if everybody says and shares something, there's probably, it's probably a 2-legged table, right? There's probably something off about it. It's like statistics and things like that. When people share them, do they even know how that statistic came about or how it was measured? Because most of it is BS. And so we want to question things and think for ourselves all the time. And one of the ways to do that is using the 7 Why tool. Now, the 7 Why tool works on ourselves, right? We can ask ourselves a series of 7 whys deep on ourselves or on our business or on things that we're in a group or family or whatever we're involved in. But outside of us, and really outside of us as individuals, it doesn't really work, because a lot of times other people don't even know why they do something, much less are we going to be able to figure out why they do it, right? So today, if you need any help with this, literally done it thousands of times, maybe tens of thousands of times. I've done this exercise so many times and with so many people. If you need help, please reach out and ask, because it's that important a tool to have in your toolbox so that you can use it to understand yourself better so you show up in the world better. That is key to making yourself and the world a better place. All right, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, see you tomorrow.